I've gotten so big that it's hard to do just about anything. And every day, it gets worse. So I'm almost completely bedbound now. But I have 2 young kids that I have to take care of.
Mercedes is completely bedbound, a prisoner in her own home. She has hit the rock bottom, and guess who her primary caretaker is? Her 11-year-old daughter. The child is picking out clothes for her little brother and essentially running the household while her mother is physically incapable of even standing. This isn't just sad, it's a 5-alarm family crisis. The level of helplessness is staggering, and it's crystal clear that this situation cannot continue for another day. We're witnessing a life that has ground to a complete halt.
And eating does that. It takes all the misery that I have and pushes it away. So once I finally start, I just want to keep going and eat as much as possible.
I'll talk to you later, okay? All right.
Alright, let's talk about the enablers. After a truly Herculean and humiliating effort just to wash herself, what's her reward? Her friend Terry shows up to cook a breakfast of her favorites, which of course means sausage and bacon. Then, like clockwork, her sister arrives with a huge lunch. Seriously? These people are delivering plates of poison with smiles on their faces. They are actively, willingly participating in her self-destruction, all under the guise of caring for her. It's a toxic environment where love has become completely twisted into enablement. She has absolutely no chance of succeeding while surrounded by this behavior.
It started with touching, and then it was more until it was intercourse. And it wasn't just me, it was my sisters too. But I didn't know that at the time. But Dad let me down.
And just when you think you have a handle on the situation, the backstory hits you like a freight train. Mercedes reveals that her downward spiral was ignited by unimaginable trauma, prolonged sexual abuse at the hands of her own father. People, this explains so much. The food became her armor, her only source of comfort in a world where she was betrayed by the one person who should have protected her. It's a truly heartbreaking origin story that draws a straight line from that horrific abuse to the 600-pound woman we see today. Her food addiction is a coping mechanism born from pure survival.
And that'll be the end for me. I'll be basically just going back home to die. And I eat myself to death and leave my kids.
During the agonizingly slow first road trip to Houston, we get the waterworks. Mercedes breaks down, completely overwhelmed by the pain and the sheer difficulty of the journey. But let's look closer. She cries that if this doesn't work out, she'll just go home and eat herself to death, leaving her children behind. While the pain is real, this is also a classic manipulative meltdown. It's a declaration of powerlessness that serves as a preemptive excuse for failure. It's a way of saying, this is too hard, so I'm not responsible for the outcome. This isn't the cry of a fighter, it's the lament of someone who has already surrendered to their addiction.
Yeah, I eat, but I don't eat like all the time. I just eat not the right stuff.
What do you mean you don't eat all the time? You eat, for your height, you should be 150 pounds. So you have over 600 pounds of excess weight.
Dr. Now enters and he is not playing games. Mercedes tries to sell him the absolutely wild story that she doesn't eat much, maybe one big meal a day after 3 p.m. Dr. Now's face says it all. He shuts that nonsense down immediately, pointing out the mathematical impossibility of reaching over 700 pounds by eating moderately. Then comes the kicker. She admits to drinking 2 or 3 2-liter bottles of soda per day. The doctor's direct, no-nonsense approach is the cold splash of water she desperately needs, cutting through the layers of delusion she's built around herself. Finally, someone is telling her the uncomfortable truth.
If I could do that on my own, I wouldn't be here for weight loss surgery. But you know I'm ready to work as hard as I need. Just thinking about my kids and living for them. But for right now, I have to focus on getting home because it's going to be a long journey back.
So, after receiving her diet plan, her literal lifeline from Dr. Now, what is Mercedes' immediate resolution? Does she pledge to start right away? Of course not. Her first thought is that she can't possibly start the diet yet. Why? Because the long, painful car ride back home is just too much, and she'll need the comfort of all her favorite bad foods to endure it. She has decided to defy the doctor's orders before the ink is even dry on the paperwork. This is peak addiction logic. It's a blatant act of defiance that shows just how monumental the battle ahead ahead is going to be.
All right, Mercedes, your situation just seems to be getting more and more serious. And now you show up, and not only did you not lose anything, you gained 8 pounds. So you want to tell me what's going on?
I know it's no excuse, but my cousin, he left and...
Fast forward 8 months, and here comes the confrontation we've all been waiting for. At the weigh-in, Mercedes hasn't just failed to lose weight, she's gained it back. Her excuse? She lives in a no-salad zone where healthy takeout isn't available. A no-salad zone. Dr. Now rightly calls this out as one of the most ridiculous excuses he's ever heard. He lays into her, telling her that at her size, her body is a ticking time bomb and she is out of chances. This is the nuclear option. He gives her a final, non-negotiable ultimatum, and it's clear his patience has worn paper thin. He has had it up to here with the lies and foolishness.
And then I'm sorry for taking a part of her childhood, but all the stuff she had to do for being Colin. So I want her to know that and how thankful I am for her. So I'm writing everything I want to say down, and then I'm going to share it with her.
After Dr. Now's ultimatum, we get a glimmer of something. Under the guidance of her therapist, Mercedes finally does one of the therapeutic homework assignments. She writes a heartfelt letter of apology to her daughter, Kim Araya, for forcing her to be a caretaker instead of a child. It's a deeply emotional and seemingly sincere moment. For a second you think, wow, maybe this is the breakthrough she needs. But is it? Is this a genuine change of heart, or is it just a single emotional act in a much larger pattern of avoidance? Given her track record, this moment of hope feels incredibly fragile, like it could shatter at any moment.
I'm a little shocked that my weight loss isn't bigger, but I'm really proud to see I'm losing again. That feels awesome, but I don't know how Dr. Now is going to react.
And here it is, folks, the grand finale at the 1-year mark. After all the drama, all the excuses, and the last-minute ultimatums, what's the final result? A total loss of just 80 pounds over an entire year, a complete and utter failure. Dr. Now looks defeated. He tells her she's not only wasted a year, but that her health, especially her heart, has deteriorated to a critical point. The verdict is in, and it's a tragic one. She's out of options and out of time. Her only chance now is to be forcibly hospitalized to save her life. She blew it. What a completely wasted opportunity.
All I can do on my own is scooch to the edge of my bed, go to the bathroom, and see if my mom's awake. I can get up, but I can only walk a few steps.
Meet Shawn, a young man whose entire universe has shrunk to the size of his mattress. His body is quite literally a prison, and he is serving a life sentence. Every single basic need, from bathing to simply existing, requires the help of his mother. The pain is etched on his face with every tiny movement. This isn't just about being overweight. This is a state of living death, where the highlight of his day is seeing if his mom is awake. It is a truly staggering and miserable existence to witness.
I would lash out at people when I was angry. I would kick people. I bit someone once. I didn't control myself well because things were hard at home.
So where did this catastrophic situation begin? The episode rewinds to a truly painful backstory. Shawn talks about a childhood filled with emotional turmoil, a home where his father's anger created a constant state of fear, and when his parents' marriage finally fell apart, he blamed himself entirely. In the middle of all that chaos, food became his only reliable source of comfort. It was the one thing that couldn't yell at him or back him into a corner. You can draw a straight line from that childhood trauma to the near 1,000-pound man on the bed. The body is just showing the receipts from years of emotional pain.
He's hungry incessantly. What do you want?
Just a couple burgers and soda. Maybe medium fry.
And just when you think the story couldn't get any more complicated, enter the chief accomplice, his mother, Renee. In a truly mind-blowing display of codependence, she is the one who delivers the very poison that is killing her son. He asks for a little snack, which turns into a fast food feast of burgers, fries, and a sundae. Her logic is that when your kid says they're hungry, you feed them. It's a textbook case of enabling disguised as love, and unfortunately, every meal she delivers is just another nail in his coffin. This is a wildly dysfunctional web, and he's trapped right in the middle of it.
The last calories that I was trying to get him at was approximately 2,500 a day. We were 2,500 a day, yeah.
You know what we do?
What?
Keep them at 800.
Dr. Now Zaradan enters. He takes one look at the situation and immediately sees through all the nonsense. He doesn't just see a patient, he sees a toxic system on wheels. In a legendary move, he looks right past Shawn and aims his truth cannon directly at Renee, telling her flat out that her behavior is killing him. For the first time, someone is refusing to play along with the family fiction. Dr. Now is the harsh, unfiltered dose of reality that this mother-son duo desperately needed, but clearly never never wanted to hear.
Shawn is complaining of chest pain, so we rushed him to the hospital and we're going to run some tests. But I don't think anything is wrong. I think the issue is he's not locked in the program right now.
So after all the warnings and a stay in the hospital, does Shawn finally get with the program? He attempts the ultimate manipulation tactic, faking chest pains to get out of physical therapy. But the real jaw-dropper comes at the weigh-in. The man has gained over 40 pounds. After all the effort to get him to Houston, after all the direct warnings from Dr. Now, he didn't just fail to lose weight, he actively gained a staggering amount. This is the addiction fighting back with a vengeance, proving just how deep this hole really is.
Next time I see you, I want you to lose 150 pounds, and I'm giving you 2 more months. No more games, no more excuses. Shawn has to stop manipulating his mom, and his mom has to stop giving in.
Dr. Now has officially had it. After the manipulative games and the shocking weight gain, he unleashes the tough love ultimatum. This is no longer a negotiation. He lays down the law with absolute fury. Lose 150 pounds in 2 more months. No more games, no more excuses, no more manipulation. This is the do or die moment. He's essentially holding Shawn's last chance right in front of his face and daring him to finally take it seriously. Shawn is officially out of road to kick the can down. This is the ultimate confrontation, a final dramatic challenge to prove if he actually wants to live a real life.
Childhood was a little rocky.
It was just a real difficult time, and I worked full time, and he came home after school and had free access, you know, and ate whatever he wanted. And
Oh boy.
Dr. Now sends in a psychologist to dissect this unhealthy dynamic, and it is absolutely fascinating. The therapist bypasses the surface level talk about food and goes straight to the core issue, the deep-seated emotional patterns. He forces both Shawn and his mother to confront how their codependent roles were forged in his childhood trauma and have continued ever since. This is the moment they are made to understand that the mother's love is enabling and Shawn's helplessness is a tool. It's not a tearful breakdown, but it is a critical catharsis where the psychological machinery is finally laid bare for them to see.
And I'm very, very nervous.
6:36. Cutting it close, but you did it. So we're gonna approve you for surgery.
Thank you.
Hold your breath, people, because the moment of truth has arrived. After that massive, seemingly impossible ultimatum from Dr. Now, Shawn shows up for his final weigh-in before getting kicked out of the program for good. And the verdict is, he did it! He actually lost 150 pounds. You can feel the tension break as Dr. Now approves him for the surgery he desperately needs. This wasn't a miracle. It was a hard-won victory. That celebratory fist bump with his mom is a testament to the brutal fight he finally decided to wage for his own life.
I think I'd like to try and get outside for a little bit. I was barely able to move a year ago. Now I can get around a lot easier.
good job, sweetie. You're doing great.
I still have a ways to go.
And here is the payoff, everyone. This is what it's all for. A year ago, Shawn was a prisoner in his own bed, barely able to move. Now, post-surgery, he's outside, walking, breathing fresh air. He is creating a goal board with his mother, planning for a future that includes amusement parks and cruises, things that were once an impossible fantasy. This isn't just about the weight he's lost, it's about the life he's gaining. We are witnessing a complete and total rebirth. He has seized his last chance and is sprinting toward a new beginning, proving that it is never, ever too late to change.
I feel trapped in his body, and every day is painful. Every day is a bad day.
Kelly's life is a non-stop nightmare she wakes up to every single day. Her own body has become her prison, and every single step is described as pure torture. Can you even imagine fearing your own shower? She's terrified that one slip, one moment of weakness could be the end. Not because of a fall, but because no one would even be there to know it happened. That level of isolation is absolutely chilling. She's completely trapped by her own flesh, living in constant pain and fear. This is a desperate scream from inside a cage.
By an older neighborhood man, he just would ask me to do things for him, like, go to the store or give him hugs and stuff like that.
And here it is, everyone, the origin story. As if things weren't grim enough, we learn about the horrific foundation her entire life was built on. At just 7 years old, she was targeted by a predator, a monster in her own neighborhood. The abuse went on for years, a secret she was forced to keep under threat, and food became her only escape, her only comfort, the only thing she could control. You can see the straight line from that trauma to the woman we see today. It shows how devastating abuse can shape a person's entire existence, turning food from sustenance into a shield. What a profoundly sad start to life.
The relationship is not where I would like it to be, but I kind of think that's changing because with me to Texas to see if get help from a doctor.
This is just peak absurdity, people. Here is her father, the only person who checks in on her. And what does he bring? A pizza. Yes, a giant pizza for his morbidly obese daughter who can barely move. He might as well be handing her a loaded weapon. He says he wants her to get help, to live, to be happy, but his actions scream the opposite. This isn't support. This is enabling at its finest, wrapped in a thin veil of cluelessness. It highlights the toxic environment of her isolation, where the only human contact she gets is someone delivering the very poison that's killing her. It's a tragic cycle of misguided affection and destructive behavior.
I knew I was up getting weak, but that obviously scares me. That is, I don't know what I would do.
Dr. Now wastes zero time cutting through the nonsense. He takes one look at her chart and starts listing her ailments like a grocery list of doom. Diabetes, blood clots, pulmonary embolism, heart failure. It's a miracle she's even breathing. And that BMI of 117? Off the charts. He bluntly tells her that her body is in a catastrophic state and that she is on the verge of death every single day. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't hold her hand. He lays out the cold, hard, terrifying truth. This has to stop now or she will not survive. This is the wake-up call she desperately needed.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Huh? Go ahead, you're in already.
I can't
Just have
get
to
this.
push. Here, grab yourself.
Have any other door to the side?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
We open it, let's see if we can help her.
Welcome to the meltdown. Getting into a car has turned into a full-blown emergency services event. She's wedged between the seats, crying out in pain, and completely gives up. This isn't just a physical struggle, it's an emotional weapon. The exhaustion, the pain, it all culminates in this moment of total helplessness where she is physically incapable of helping herself. It forces everyone around her into a state of panic, needing the fire department to rescue her. This breakdown serves one purpose: to show that she is completely powerless, forcing the world to bend to the sheer gravitational pull of her crisis. It's a masterclass in how her condition controls everything and everyone around her.
It's like I need to eat something. So I know I haven't been losing weight. And I am worried about what Dr. Now will say.
After everything she's been through, after the initial weight loss at the hospital, she gets to the rehab center, and what's the first thing she does? Sabotages herself. She openly admits she doesn't like the healthy food they're providing, so she's been ordering takeout. This is the classic act of defiance, the addict brain fighting back against the cure with a vengeance. She's in a controlled environment designed to save her life, and she's using it like a hotel with room service. It's pure self-destruction, and she's framing it as a complaint about the menu. The delusion is staggering. The real work hasn't even started.
At the 636.4, so instead of losing 25 pounds, you gain 32.
And Dr. Now has had it. He storms into that rehab room and the gloves are completely off. He doesn't mince words. He tells her she has to decide if she wants to live or if she wants to die. That's it. That's the choice. When the scales show she gained a shocking 15 kilos instead of losing weight, you can see the absolute frustration in his eyes. He calls out all her excuses about not liking the food for what they are. Pure nonsense. This isn't a suggestion anymore. It's an ultimatum. Change right now. Stop the self-sabotage or accept your fate.
Discuss where you at today. It looks like you made some progress over the last month, but not as much as you should. You're still in the 500s.
Here is the moment of hope. After the confrontation, after being backed into a corner, Kelly actually did the work. She got serious, and Dr. Now, seeing her progress, finally gives her the green light for surgery. What a moment! For the first time in this entire journey, it feels like there's a real path forward, a tangible reward for her effort. She is finally being approved for the tool that could change everything. But, and this is a big but, we all know the surgery is not a magic wand. This is where the real fight begins. Is this a true turning point or just a brief glimmer before it all comes crashing down?
It was just too soon. Yeah, dissection Jordan or 6 or 700 pounds like Kelly was at her highest.
This is unbelievable. After all that fighting, all that progress, after losing over 324 pounds, it wasn't enough. The episode takes the most shocking and tragic turn imaginable. Dr. Now gets a phone call from the medical examiner. Kelly passed away in her sleep from cardiac arrest. The damage to her heart was just too severe. She fought so hard. She followed the plan. She was on the right path, but her past caught up with her in the most brutal way. This is a devastating conclusion, a truly heartbreaking reminder that sometimes, even when you win all the battles, the war is already lost.
So my daughter Desiree helps me. Desiree, come here, lay down.
Morning, beautiful.
I live with my husband Justin and my daughter Desiree.
All right, people, let's dive right in. We're meeting Angela, and the situation is absolutely dire. She describes herself as a prisoner, and honestly, that's an understatement. She's completely confined to a single room, entirely dependent on her daughter, Desiree, for every single thing. We're talking basic hygiene, food, even just getting a light turned on. It is a grim, bleak existence. This isn't just a weight problem, folks. This is a complete shutdown of a human life. The level of helplessness on display from the get-go is just staggering. She has built her own prison cell out of bad habits, and she has given the warden's keys to her own child. What a start.
My mom was an alcoholic and my father was a drug addict, and my father was abusive physically to my mother. So I felt abandoned most of the time.
And here it is, the origin story. Angela lays out a childhood that sounds like a checklist for future disaster. With an alcoholic mother and a drug-addicted father, neglect was basically the air she breathed. Then, to make a horrific situation even worse, she reveals she was sexually abused by a family friend. When she finally found the courage to speak up, her mother didn't even defend her. It's a truly heartbreaking sequence of events, and it gives you a clinical map of how a person's spirit gets broken. Food became her only comfort, the one thing she could control in a world of pure chaos.
You think that's normal?
Well,
And I said,
Mom that we're
and
all
I
doing
said,
this
why don't you
for
get a
her.
life?
He said, we're all doing this
And we're all
for
doing
you.
this for you, Angela. So he's not gonna be living it.
So you want me to leave my boyfriend?
Wow, just wow. The family dynamics are a dumpster fire, everyone. Angela needs her daughter to move to Houston to save her life, but the daughter's boyfriend is causing drama. What does Angela do? She unleashes a tirade of guilt and manipulation that is honestly breathtaking to witness. She frames her daughter's hesitation as a personal betrayal of the highest order, escalating a difficult conversation into a full-blown emotional war. She yells, she cries, she makes it entirely about herself, completely dismissing her daughter's own life and relationship. The toxicity is just radiating through the screen.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like if I can't move, I can't lose weight.
No, that's completely inaccurate.
Hats off to Doctor. Now, the one-man wrecking ball of delusion. Angela walks into his office and tries to sell him a story that is so flimsy it's practically transparent. She claims she barely eats all day and only has one big meal at night. Dr. Now's face says it all. He shuts that nonsense down immediately, hitting her with the cold, hard science. He explains that to maintain her current mass, she has to be consuming thousands upon thousands of calories daily. He sees right through the manipulation and calls her out on her self-deception in front of her family.
My life is all over the place right now. Justin is no longer here. We have separated. About a week ago, we got into an argument. He was under the influence, as usual.
After getting Dr. Now's plan, Angela's life hits a speed bump. Her husband, Justin, leaves her. A normal person might see this as a reason to focus even harder on their health journey, but not Angela. She immediately uses the emotional turmoil as a free pass to dive headfirst back into her addiction. So, instead of fighting for her life, she's ordering onion rings and using her marital problems as the ultimate excuse. The diet plan didn't stand a chance against her need for a new excuse.
Hello.
Angie, how you doing?
I'm all right.
All right, so did you check your weight?
Yes.
And how much you weigh now?
I'm down to 598.6.
This phone call is pure delusion. Dr. Now is on the line, rightly pointing out that Angela's progress is laughably slow. After months, she's barely made a dent. How does she respond? She has the audacity to tell the surgeon trying to save her life that she doesn't have time for his new goal because she's busy moving. She's the one wasting everyone's time. Dr. Now's, her family's, and most importantly, the precious little she has left. The level of entitlement required to speak to him this way is genuinely mind-blowing.
Completely unacceptable and nowhere near what I need. There's no way I can fit in it. I didn't come all this way to be thrown in some dump.
This is the last chance. She's finally made it to Houston, the place where her new life is supposed to begin. And what's the first thing she does? She finds a reason for it to be a complete disaster. The apartment isn't what she saw in the pictures. It's a dump, a ghetto, in her words. She immediately has a meltdown, proclaiming she was deceived and that she hates her life. Before the first box is even unpacked, she has already manufactured a new crisis. This isn't about the apartment. It's about creating an external source of misery that she can later blame for her inevitable failure. It's a masterful act of preemptive excuse-making.
Hello.
Hi.
How you all doing?
Good. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing good. All right. In the past 2 months, you lost almost nothing, just 9 pounds.
The confrontation we've all been waiting for. Angela is finally in Houston, and after 8 months, her progress is practically zero. Doctor now does not hold back. He tells her plainly that at this rate, she'll be dead within a year. He calls her behavior what it is, a series of excuses designed to avoid any real change. Instead of absorbing this terrifying truth, Angela gets defensive and frustrated. She sees his diagnosis not as a life-saving warning, but as a personal attack. She is literally arguing with the man who is telling her she is on the brink of death. Make it make sense, people. The denial is a fortress.
I have marijuana in my system.
Don't play games with me. I know exactly what you have in your system. And it's not just that. There are multiple other narcotics we found.
Here is the tragic finale. Dr. Now brings out the final damning evidence. Her drug test came back positive, not just for one thing, but for multiple narcotics. Her lies have completely unraveled. With all the cards on the table, Dr. Now offers her one last path to redemption. Go to a rehab facility to tackle her substance abuse. Then they can address her weight. And what does she choose? She chooses denial. She refuses the offer, effectively ending her journey. She came seeking a life-saving surgery, but was completely unwilling to confront the demons that were truly killing her. What a colossal waste.